What is good, guys? Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with another Crusadia combo. Now, I know you guys are probably getting super tired of all these Crusadia combos, these Crusadia videos, but I promise this will be the last one for a while, unless you guys request more. But for the most part, this is going to be the going first combo for my going second Crusadia list, featuring the Codebreaker combo. Now, I featured the Codebreaker combo on the channel before, showcasing what it can do for the Crusadia strategy alone. And we didn't have access to this back in the day in the OTK, so we kind of just did Equimax Passer, Equimax, and the Dawn Dragster. So now we have a lot more. Like, that was, I don't know what that was, but we have a lot more. And all it does is take an extender. And I'm going to showcase it to you guys right here. It's going to end us on 3 interruptions, and then of course if you have some superior extender like Paralytic Seed, you get to go even farther. And there's different types of routes. I'm going to pinpoint in the exact combo when if you are going second, you get to one punch or attack over everything, etc. Because right now this takes a lot of math to think about. You have to examine your opponent's board and see if you're going to be able to break it, because if you don't break it, you're just ending on Equimax and Pass, and let's be honest, half the combo decks out there are just going to laugh at that. Even if you play Avermax and end on Avermax, they're just going to out the Avermax. It's pretty easy nowadays. So right now we are trying to either one punch. If you cannot one punch your opponent, you're going to try and deconstruct their board and reconstruct a big enough board that you yourself the opponent then will not be able to break, that you yourself can build that your opponent will not be able to break. And that is what this combo allows us to do. And yeah, I'm just going to quickly get this wire out of the way, and I'm going to go ahead and showcase you guys the combo here. But remember, before I show the combo, which I should have said earlier in the video, is if you want to help support this channel, hit that join button down below. We have 20 members now. Let's keep those numbers rising. Become part of an awesome family, guys. Get your rewards, perks, all that fine jazz. A lovely community. My members can vouch for me. And to help support the channel in the process to bring you guys this type of content and merch for your favorite rogue decks. And also, if you guys want to help support the channel, check down the link down in the description down below to Team COG Company.site and get your Ordained by the Flame or your Crusadia or your Girsu Rising playmats today, along with an awesome shirt to represent the Crusade. So without further ado, let's hop into it. So for this combo, like I said, you need 2 Crusadias and an extender. It does not matter the extender. If this is a superior extender like Paralytic Seed, then you end on like a Ling Kribo too. It's really just depends on what your hand is, but for the bare bone minimum, this is all you need. You're going to go ahead and normal summon your random Crusadia, and you're going to link it off for your Magius. Once Magius is here, you then do not summon Draco, hold the Draco. You summon your extender, triggering the Magius, grabbing yourself Arborea. If you don't have Arborea, grab Reclusia, but Arborea is what you want to go after because it provides that Equimax an extra layer of protection in case they do decide to attack over it, destroy it by like Lightning Storm, etc., etc. Lightning Storm would really kind of suck, but I mean, you have Equimax to negate it, but then that's one negate down. But anyway, you then turn these 2 guys here into your Regulex. You then now fire off Draco. Now, if you didn't have Draco, you search the Draco. Pretty self-explanatory. You special Draco. Draco becomes Chainlink 2, Regulex Chainlink 1. Draco adds you back the Crusadia that you normal summoned, and then you get yourself Crawler. You see where this is going? Normally right here, what would happen is we would pivot into making Equimax and then summoning these 2, making Dog Dragster, making Equimax, Dragster, Pass. Yes, that is and back in the day that was meh. But today, that's just going to be laughed at. They're just going to plow over. The biggest problem with Dawn Dragster was Equimax did not gain the attack of Dawn Dragster, so Equimax was still a little tiny little boy, probably 2300 by firing off the Crawler. But now, with the introduction of the Codebreakers and all this huge amount of Link monsters that we had that we didn't have when Cybernetic Horizon released, the going first kind of expands a little bit more. We get 1 more extra negate on that. And we go ahead and link these guys right here into Draco, Master of the Tinyi. This card is kind of cool. We don't use it for any of its effects or anything. It's just for the 3 downward pointing arrows. And also a cool little thing is in a simplified game state, if they do happen to stop you and this is all you can make, this guy cannot be destroyed by battle by an effect monster. So in a simplified game state where all they have is effect monsters, this guy is sticking around for you to be able to like at least hold the line. That was the saying back in the day on this channel, is you're trying to hold the local line and win it, So there we go. We make True Draco Berserker of the Tinyi. Draco Berserker of the Tinyi, excuse me, not True Draco. You then special summon your 2 Crusadias here. Here, it doesn't matter. Just get them on the field one way or the other. You then link them off into your Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. On Summon Virus Swordsman lets you summon a Codebreaker 0 day from the deck to a linked zone that a link monster points to. So right here you beam out 0 day. Now this right here would be the prime point if you had Desires in your hand to fire off that Desires and get yourself some more draws and more resources, because right here we've got our 2 searchable cards that we want out of the deck. Everything else we don't want to banish. This is where we draw into side deck cards, or we draw into more powerful extenders like that Parallel Exceed I was talking about, or other Crusadias, or other traps, hand traps, depending whatever you play. This is where you'd fire off Desires. You turn Virus Swordsman and 0 day into the Berserker. Berserker then summons out Swordsman and then summons out 0 day. Now pause. This right here is exactly if you're going second, where if your opponent gyps you a monster, they go, I'm not going to leave a monster for your Echo Max to punch over. This right here is where you have enough damage to attack an open field and do enough. Now, even now you're going to be like, well, they're probably going to set a few cards, right? Some sort of disruption. Arguably, they would activate them earlier. However, if they did not, and they're like some sort of like protectionist cards that like, Call the Haunted, something like that, Berserker can target spell and traps up to the number of linked Berserker monsters, including himself, I believe, and he destroys, so that's 3 or 2 spell and traps. So that is phenomenal. And this is not even, this is the part of the going second strategy I talked about before. Right here, you're removing back row. You're able to attack, you have an 18, 28, 23, 26. So you have a lot of big beefy monsters that can kind of attack over everything. So right here, this is where the mathematical equations and the magic of math come in. If you could not OTK your opponent, there's no point to go all the way up to Echo Max, summon Maximus, attack, do 78, and let your opponent have that extra turn. Especially with the combo decks being able to recur and apply a lot of damage and practically just shatter your board all over. So right now, this is where you decipher. You attack over all the monsters you can practically, and you break the board. And then right here is where we would establish our board to prevent our opponent from making a comeback. And that's practically the strategy that the game has, that the deck has now, since if you cannot one punch. They've been too many times I punched for 78, and then they've come back and killed me. So this way, you punch for a little less, but you also break a board, and you establish to where they cannot re-establish their own board. But anyway, back to going first. Right here, you turn the Virus Berserker and the Tinny. You treat Virus Swordsman as a link 2, Tinny as a link 1, and you make Echo Max. You then turn the Berserker and the 0 day for a link 4 2 material Apollousa. You then set your Crawler, pass it over to your opponent. During the standby phase, fire off Crawler. Crawler comes out, and then you search out your Succession. And then you have, there you go. If you want to protect the Apollousa, you could also search out World Legacy World Lance, which would protect them from plowing over the bow. Pretty easy. And that is very well something you could play. I actually used to play Lance in my original OTK build because it was something you could search out during your opponent's turn to allow you to have in hand to just whack. Because it just requires a link monster to battle, and that's what Apollousa is. So it just allows you to protect the Apollousa from getting whacked over. You could just drop a Lance. Apollousa just doesn't lose to any monster over 16. Now, if you happen to open, I didn't formulate this in because I'm bad at this, Parallel Exceed. And you're going to incorporate this into your ending combo. All you do is once you don't even, so this is hand, this goes back, there you go. And there you go. So once you summon the Echo Max, you then fire off Exceed. Exceed will then get here, this is where you can turn all 4 of these into a 4 material Apollousa if you want to. However, if you want like a little bit more broad of a span of what you're doing, you can still turn these into the link 4 2 material Apollousa, and then you just overlay here for Dweller. And there you go. That's just by adding in Apollousa, you get some crazy, like a Floodgate-esque card like Dweller, which is good against Dino and Eldritch. And if you don't like Dweller, make Rafflesia. And actually, that would be kind of the solid thing to do. I say that because if you make Rafflesia, and you've already gone second, you've broken their board, you've got them a little bit low on life, you just make Rafflesia and you're going to burn them for 2,000 and potentially burn and win. But anyway, guys, that is it for the combo sequence here of featuring the Codebreakers in this going second list for Crusadia. Please remember, if you like this type of content, comment down below and let me know. Let me know what you guys would like to see. As I said, I don't know if I will be touching base on this for quite a while, especially since the list I kind of like and I needed to play test a little bit more, maybe add in some hand traps. But other than that, stay tuned for probably some duel videos with the deck. yeah, not much more can be said. Going to another big tournament at the end of the month, taking in for Nobles. And yeah, so please remember, guys, stay happy, stay safe. Happy crusading. This is Charles from Team COG signing out.